Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back and forth. There's always human error and stuff. But, I mean, we can talk about all that. I don't know, my brain's kind of running out my ear after. I have finals next week. And so I'm like, the final stage is like trying to cram all this.
All right, let's get started. All right, lead heads, we are back with another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. And yes, I am alive. I've been gone for a couple of weeks. I don't know if you guys noticed or not. I was pretty creative in spreading out the shows, so hopefully you didn't notice too big of a gap in between the shows. But this is the first one we've done since our Great Reset episode that we did. Back, I guess, 2 weeks ago. We had Brian Keeney with Occam Defense Solutions. We had Jay with the League of Pirates. And we had special guest David G. And he's on the Patriots Lament Radio. And we talked about the Great Reset. A very interesting topic. We've got a lot of great insight on this one world order kind of thing that the other European nations and maybe even Biden may be looking at getting us involved with. Who all's behind that, what it is, and how you can decipher the news that you're hearing about it. So great episode. Make sure you go back, check it out, and shoot us some emails if you have questions about that. David's a great resource, and he's happy to answer any lingering questions that he had on that. Of course, that's part of our Liberty series that we've been doing with the League of Pirates and Brian with Occam Defense Solutions. And we're going to continue that series. We've got a good episode coming up where we're going to be talking about how you can work with your local officials, your law enforcement, your governing officials on some of these mandates that because of the COVID, you know, they're shutting businesses down, they're issuing citations, how your officials are going to react when, I guess, the rubber meets the road and they actually have to, or will they actually enforce some of these unconstitutional laws and rules that we're seeing in our counties and cities and states. But we got good news this episode. We have officially launched the Talking Lead channel on the Full 30 network. And you know what that means. That means that we have a promotion to go along with that. Because Talking Lead is the show with the most, and we give the most here. And our promotion is with Full 30, and we've got nearly $10,000 in prizes in this promotion that we're doing. And to help us kick it off and talk about it, we have the owner of the Full 30 Network joining us now, Mr. Jeff Kirkham. Jeff, welcome in.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. It's cool to be back on the show. And after hearing about the Great Reset, man, I'm going to have to go back and listen. That's probably some interesting talk.
It absolutely is some interesting talk. I mean, you get into your conspiracy theories and things like that, but David really brings some facts and some things to think about as you're hearing some of this stuff. So as they keep denying it, it's real, it exists, they have an agenda, and David does a really good job in helping us decipher all that.
That's cool. Well, cool, man. Thanks for having me back.
Well, thanks for coming back, man. It's been a while. I think the last episode that you were on was one of our AK Corners, one of our season 2 ending episodes. And we're going to be kicking that off in January, so don't fear. The AK Corner is coming back.
Nice. Nice.
We've got a lot of great things to be talking about in the upcoming year regarding AKs, but right now, you know, we're celebrating the launch of the Talking Lead channel on Full 30, and we really appreciate you guys working with us on getting our channel launched. It's been challenging because at the same time, Full 30 is going through some updates and some upgrades and some improvements. So we wanted to talk about and highlight those as well. Maybe Jared will join us. Jared's in the process of traveling. We're in between, the Thanksgiving holidays right now. So maybe he'll find a little station to pull over and be able to join us. But in the meantime, before we get into talking about this awesome giveaway that we're doing with Full 30 and 20 plus of our industry friends and our new channel on Full 30, we want to talk about some things that have happened since our last episode. And one of those is I've been sick, I guess we'll call it. I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't want to become a statistic. And, I may or may not have COVID. Who knows? I don't know. We'll never know because I'm not going to go get tested. I refuse to do that. But I've got, flu-like symptoms. And I've had them for a couple of weeks, which is why I haven't really been able to do a lot with the show. And I apologize about that, Leadheads, but we're going to double up and catch up. We've got some great things lined up for you. But I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling better. You can hear it in my voice a little bit. Got the sniffles. So I feel like I'm on the tail end of it. And Jeff and I were talking off air a little bit, and come to find out, I knew that you had a very extensive medical background to begin with, but you're extending that and continuing it, and you're actually attending college now. You're getting a bachelor's in nursing. Is that right?
Yeah. It was one of those moments where, I had a little bit of extra time, because of
How?
For whatever.
How do you have extra time?
I don't know. Maybe that's a complete falsehood. Maybe I just figured I would pile more stuff on, but I've always wanted to close the loop, with the medical stuff, and nursing is not just bedpans and, and wiping runny noses. It's actually, it's very in depth. I knew it was in depth, but I had no idea it was as in depth as it is. And I've got finals next week for, my second, or how far am I in the semester? And it's an accelerated program. So they're piling it on a really good school, but, it's been fantastic. And I decided, one is personal growth. Like on the Readyman side, we're always beating the drum of like, continue to improve yourself, continue to build your tribe, continue to build your community, make sure that you're bringing your family with you. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And we're constantly beating that drum. And so that was one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I need to practice what I'm preaching. And so, along with, exercising and, and training, all the cool stuff, stick and knife and gun, but also it's like, hey, you know what? Medical is super important. So I want to close that personal loop on education, and as well as it's like, emergency preparedness plan. I can pretty much always get a job as a regular nurse until I could be in my 70s and work as a nurse, depending on what field I'm in. Right. And then, and if the kids or someone in the family gets sick, boom, I've got the skills to help with that as well. So that's it. It was personal, plus, Readyman's all about emergency preparedness. So it's part of my prep plan.
Well, I got to commend you. As a business owner, you've got you've got several successful businesses that you've started. You're a self-made man, and to go back to college, to go back to school, to kind of start from the beginning I don't want to say you're old, because I'm the same age as you are. So I'm not
in my class by far.
Right. To go back to school at the ripe age of 50, in your 50s, that's a big decision. It's like how many people make that decision? It's like, I've got all this stuff that I know and that I do and that I'm good at and I'm successful at, but I want to learn more. And what better place to do that than go to, a university or college, or I assume that's where you're going, somewhere there locally there in Utah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Meritech is the school, and all they do is is I mean 90% of what they do is nursing, so everything is centered around healthcare and all of that. So it's cool. So like there's no classes of that are underwater basket weaving that you're sitting in class wondering why you're there. Like everything, the math, even the English class was all about writing scientific health papers and whatnot. It wasn't, we weren't reading like anything else except for medical journals and how to read them and how to dissect them. So it's really been good. And also I've really enjoyed the learning and the challenge of learning and being a student as well. I mean, it's anybody that's older that's listening, if you're even considering the idea of going back and getting a degree, it's awesome because you approach learning so differently at an older age than you do when you were younger. When at least I do. Like when I was younger, I was like, okay, whatever, I got to just jam through this class and now I'm done. Whereas now it's like I'm digging into it because I'm enjoying what I'm learning and just really dissecting it and having a blast.
Yeah, and when was the last time? Because you've got a degree, you've already got a degree.
Yeah.
When was the last time that you were in school? How long has that been?
About 30 years ago.
Holy shit! So I mean, 30 years ago compared to today, and I can only assume that you're doing a lot of online stuff with this.
It is. I went into it. I was really. It was with trepidation that I went in because I was like, man, how's this? Because the classes, it's a live teacher, but they're all Zoom. The only stuff that we go in for is clinicals, obviously, and then the lab because where you're doing the hands-on skills, you gotta go in for that.
Sure.
Everything else like pathophysiology and pharmacology and math and all that is all on with live instructor, just kind of like similar to what we're doing right here. You've got about 40 people ish in the class, at least in my class. So I went into it with some trepidation where I was like, man, how's this going to work? I don't know how much I'm going to get out of it. It is phenomenal. It is phenomenal.
Nice.
I don't have to drive to the school and find parking and all of that stuff. I just, I've got an office here at my house and I get set up. I can hear what the instructor is saying. Whereas like anybody that's been in school before that had some crap instructor that talked to the chalkboard while he was teaching
right.
class, you couldn't read his writing. And it was like, you got to be kidding me. Everything's a PowerPoint presentation. And then the classes are videotaped. So you can go back and watch the video. So you can watch the class multiple times. The PowerPoint is right there. So they give you the PowerPoint so you can take notes right on the PowerPoint while you're there, build your study regime. If you have questions, boom, you've got this miracle of Google, or you just open up another window and it's like, what was that? And you can ask the instructor.
Fact check kind of thing. Yeah.
But exactly. It's phenomenal. Like it is. I love it. Some of the younger folks in the class, they're not as down with it, but they want the socialization and stuff like that. I don't. Yeah. At my age, I don't want. I was like,
well, that's the benefit of, again, like you said, going to school at our age is we're not there for the socialization part of it, and 30 years ago it was a little different. That's
30 years ago I was chasing the girls,
right? Chasing it all. You had things to do.
That's right. It's like get in, get out, give me the information, tell me what I need to know, and I'll dig it out from there.
And like I said before, you've kind of got a medical background. You were for our new listeners, people who aren't familiar with Jeff. Jeff is one of the creators of the Readyman Network. He's an author. He's written a series of novels called the Black Autumn series.
Yep.
Couple of other instructional survival type books that he's got out there as well. He's one of the guys behind Black Rifle Coffee. He's the inventor of the Rats Tourniquet. We were talking a little bit offline. He's also got a medical company that does medical testing. Several other irons. I mean, I don't know which ones you want me to say or not, but very successful businessman, former special ops. He's been on the show. He's talked about his service overseas in the sandbox. So very diverse background. But for somebody with that amount of real world experience as well, to go back and decide that you want to go back to college and learn another skill or enhance a skill that that you've had, it's phenomenal. It speaks a lot to everyone. It's like, don't be complacent. Always be wanting to learn more and absorb more and take on new experiences. So I commend you for what you're doing, man. It's awesome.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I highly recommend it to anybody. It's incredibly fulfilling.
Yeah, and not just nursing. Maybe that's a great skill to have, but I mean, there are all kinds of other fields that you can go back and get your degree in nowadays. I mean, there's unlimited amount of specialties these days. I mean, who knows? There's probably even one for podcasting nowadays. I mean, who knows?
There probably is.
Which I should probably take.
Shoot, you could be the professor.
Yeah, right? I doubt it. I've still got a lot to learn. We're going into our 9th year, by the way. So that's something that's kind of going along with our big promotion here with Full 30 and us joining their network. So we're very proud and happy to be kicking off our 9th year of the Talking Lid podcast. We're probably one of the first firearms-related podcasts that there was out there.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
I can't verify that, but I don't think there's another longer running firearms related podcast that I can think of. So that marries perfectly with Full 30 because we're the longest running standalone gun content. I mean, we're expanding from gun content, but gun is, that's the alma mater. That's where our street cred is that, got us going. And now, we're trying to expand that. But yeah, I think we're the longest standing one now too. Yeah. And that's kind of how we got started was, firearms, guns, but, we've expanded to include a lot more than that. And it's to show that our 2A community is more than just guns. It's more than firearms. We're the most welcoming, most diverse community there is out there. Everyone loves their Second Amendment rights, whether they're atheists, they're Christians, they're Muslims, they're black, they're white, they're women, they're 10, they're 85 years old.
That's right.
They identify as a male, they identify as a woman, however they identify. Everyone loves their Second Amendment rights, their firearms, and we don't discriminate against anyone in our community. We're not this good old boy redneck Bubba network that the liberals make us out to be. Quite the opposite of that.
Yeah, that's all just misinformation and propaganda that they it seems to be their calling card on that stuff. And then where they can't get away with doing that, then they just censor you and suppress you.
Yeah, when this pandemic is an example of that, a great example of how they're trying to control and not just us, our Second Amendment, but everyone, the whole country. I mean, just look at the laws and the rules, and Thanksgiving. How many people suffered not being around their families and their loved ones during Thanksgiving because they said they're shutting it down. You can't gather, you can't go and celebrate. They're trying to do the same thing with Christmas now.
Yeah.
Biden had an interview the other day I just saw, where he's like, "Hey, listen, man, everybody needs to quarantine, stay away. Don't do it. Don't celebrate Christmas." So they're pushing that agenda for Christmas as well, and just use good sense, good common sense. I didn't get to celebrate Thanksgiving, because I had a sickness. I was ill. I had the flu. Whatever it is, I knew that I shouldn't be around other people. But if you're not feeling sick and you don't have the symptoms and you've tested and you test negative, there's nothing wrong with going and being around your loved ones, but you can do it in a safe, responsible manner. There are precautions that can be taken and still be around your loved ones and celebrate and have a good time. And, just people's mentality, you need that mentally to be healthy. I've noticed, over these last couple of weeks that I've been, my self-imposed quarantine here, it's done some things to my psyche,
Yeah.
not being around people and not being able to do the show. And even just, like we're communicating right now. I mean, this is being around people to me. This is communicating.
It's highly, it's essential for human beings to be around other human beings. And we say this over and over again when people ask us on the Readyman side about emergency preparedness, and we're like, hey, look, the myth of the lone wolf, like you're going to get your rifle and go into the woods and survive like Jeremiah Johnson, it's not true. It's not going to happen. And even Jeremiah Johnson didn't do that. He was still linking up with the Indians and whatnot when he was out there. And it's the same thing. If you look at human beings, what is the number one way that we punish prisoners? We put them in isolation.
Isolation, yeah.
And they found that if they leave them in isolation for too long, they go insane. I mean, that's how important, it's the thing that put human beings at the top of the food chain, but it's also the thing that helps to keep us healthy as well. We have to have that interaction.
Yeah, we have to have community, no doubt about it. And I'm thankful that you agreed to do the show because, like I said, it's been a couple of weeks and I haven't done the show. I haven't really talked to a lot of people. So this is really good for my mental psyche as well. So thank you for taking the time to be on. And I think Jared is trying to join us now. So let's see if we can't get Jared on board here.
Keith likes everything about the great outdoors. He's a lot like us. Whether we're bow hunting in the backcountry or plinking in the backyard, we want to enjoy each experience to the fullest. Kel-Tec's 22 caliber P17 is Heath's go-to pistol for a good time, on the range, on the trail, and anywhere in between. Weighing in at only 14 ounces with a full magazine, its compact size makes it easy to conceal or tuck away in a small pack, pocket, or space. It comes out of the box ready with a fiber optic front sight, a threaded barrel, a Picatinny rail, and a price point for any budget. With 3 16-round magazines, it's ready for hours of pure unadulterated enjoyment. It's easy, it's affordable, it's accurate, and it's a damn sweet marvel of plinking innovation. The Kel-Tec P17. It's more bang for less buck.
Yep, TLP 374, TL Full 30 promo.
There he is.
And here.
All right, I'm hanging up.
Oh, sweet.
There.
Jared,
Welcome.
how are you?
Hey, buddy. Figured it out.
You just clicked on that link, right?
No, I had to enter the link in. Like I went to the Google and I typed the link in and it worked. But I clicked it and it took me to the other call. It was weird.
That is weird.
You should have just jumped in and said, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Hey, what's up? And gone.
What's up? I'm out.
Do like O'Keefe did to Jeff Zucker. Yeah, I've been taping these for the last couple of months. And I'm going to release them. Peace out.
Take that, Zucker.
Did you hear about Artie?
Mm-mm.
So there's this reporter. His last name's O'Keefe, right? And he's known for like taping stuff. So he somehow, I don't know the whole story, but he was at the 9:30 meeting for CNN for like the last couple of months, and he was taping it. And so obviously, CNN's no friend of freedom, and he got him on there talking about how they're trying to suppress the truth and how they're holding stuff back and they're promoting stuff forward that's complete and utter BS. And Zucker runs CNN.
Right.
He's the CEO. And so he was on the phone and O'Keefe was like, he had him in the meeting and he's like, hey, oh, by the way, everybody, I've been taping this for the last couple of months and I'm going to start releasing them. So he's been releasing them every day, all, the tapes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
So how are they covering that up?
Well, yeah, exactly. Which is, again, I mean, one of the reasons why we said earlier why Full 30 exists is because if you don't agree with them, they'll just suppress you or censor you.
Right. Run you out of the country.
Yep.
Damn. So, Jared, we haven't talked about the promo or the channel yet. So we just kind of been talking about getting caught up with Jeff and what's been going on with Jeff. And how did we end it just then? What was our last conversation?
That Jared Markle guy, F that guy. I heard it. I heard you guys saying it.
We're like, can he talk and drive at the same time? Come on. But
I can't multitask very well.
So
yes, huh?
as you guys can hear, Jared has joined us. He found a good pulling over spot, and I think you reached your destination. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm here in encampment, Mountaintop Studio, and actually I have a good microphone this time, so I don't sound like I'm on a phone.
Well, good. Thank you. I appreciate you doing that. I mean, that helps the quality and the my show. So I appreciate you doing that.
Only the best for you, my friend.
Right? The best. So you've been traveling. So Jared exercised his rights. You know, we were talking earlier about how they've been trying to suppress Americans and keep everybody locked up and away and quarantined from one another. Jared went cross country with his family and visited family during the Thanksgiving holiday. Talk about that.
I did. So we decided to go down and visit Alex's side of the family. Ruth, Ruth's 10 months old now. She hasn't got to meet a lot of her cousins. So we were vacillating back and forth. Do we fly? Do we drive? Do we fly? Do we drive? And I'm like, oh, flying would be so much easier. But the benefit that we get in driving is that we were actually able to stop along the path with listeners of Student of the Gun and fans of Full 30 and actually get to intermingle with them a little bit and learn more about their lives. And we actually had 2 families that hosted us in their own homes. They allowed us to stay with them and cook us home-cooked meals. It was a fantastic time to get to actually communicate with people that are users of the platform of Full 30 and listeners.
So you mooched off your listeners. That's awesome, dude.
The 2 people that hosted us are they probably listen to Talking Lead as well, but they've turned into really good friends of mine. And that's one of my favorite things about doing what we do is like there's people that are like-minded all over the country, all over the world.
Right.
And never found them if we didn't do something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were just miles from the lead quarters here too. You'd stopped in a little town nearby. I'm not going to say where it was. Was that one of the listeners that you're talking about?
Yep. Yeah. The Hammond family, they hosted us in Tennessee, and I didn't realize how close they were to you until we got to talking, and I'm like, oh, you're like really close to the Hammonds.
We were like 20 minutes away. Yeah. But with me, with whatever I've got, I didn't want to get you guys exposed to it. So
yeah, we've either we're lucky or I don't know, a divine intervention. We traveled, I've been on the road for 2 weeks now almost, and I'm not sick. I haven't gotten any sickness. Yeah. Knock on some wood.
Well, I've been all over, since this has started. I've been all over the country. Just went to Georgia last month to that Big Daddy Unlimited epic shoot that they had there. It was a wonderful event. Had no issues, no problems whatsoever. I was telling Jeff, hunting season started here, rifle season started here the 21st, and I went out 2 days straight. One day was just perfect weather. It was in the 70s, and the next day the temperature dropped. It was in the 30s, rainy, cold, and that's when I kind of felt, kind of a cold or whatever, the sniffles and things coming on, and I'd spend another day out in the rain the next day, and that's kind of, I guess, when it kind of set in. So I don't know that, exposure to any one individual, or is this just, every other year I seem to get the flu without, just like clockwork. This time of year, every other year, I seem to get sick, get the flu, something along these lines. So it's something I'm used to anyway. So I haven't been to the doctor, haven't been checked out. I don't know if it's COVID or what it is. I think it's just the flu.
Are you on the upside now?
I feel like I am. Yeah. I mean, I still got the sniffles. I've got my energy starting to come back. I'm able to sleep better, that kind of stuff. But it's just everything that I've experienced is nothing been out of the ordinary that I've not had in the past, from the flu. other than it was, I felt like 2 days ago, I felt like I'd kicked it, and then it came back that night. So, I mean, flus can do that too. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just in denial. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I mean, I get it like every other year anyway. It's something that I just anticipate that I'm going to get, and then after a week or so, I'm gonna beat it, and I'm gonna be better. And I'm on the road to recovery now, so feel good. I haven't been around other people, just like when I get it in the past. When I'm sick, I don't want to be around other people. Other people don't want to be around me. So just practicing common sense. Yeah, common sense kind of stuff. But
common sense and common courtesy.
Exactly,
Yeah.
common courtosy. But if I had been feeling well, I would have gone and I would have had Thanksgiving dinner with my family, my friends, and visiting and done everything that you guys have did for it. But now I'm just concentrating on getting better and being able to do Christmas. That's the next big thing coming up for most people. It's Christmas and Hanukkah and.
Yeah, I'd say we've got Hanukkah coming up. Starts on the 11th, I believe, 10th or 11th, and then so that's the next big thing for us. And then we've got Christmas, obviously, at the 25th.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the time of year where you want to, and that's what Jeff and I were talking about. This being away from people, being away from your loved ones. I mean, if you're physically unfit to do it, then yes, obviously you need to do it. But there are ways that you can still, like we're doing through the Skype. You can still get that craving for human affection and attention that humans need by doing things like this. So there's other ways around it to do it. Technology's great these days.
Yeah,
It's amazing. It's truly amazing what they've been able to. I mean, what is available and what's going on with, the upside. If we could say there's an upside to the pandemic, no matter what people feel about it and whatnot, there's definitely an upside. Like I had a buddy of mine that died not from COVID, it was from an accident about was that about 4 months ago? Dave Acosta with a U Tactical. He's a fantastic guy, but because of he was in a biking accident. It's complete total freak accident, but because of COVID, he had to cancel all of his work trips and whatnot. And his girls, I know his girls, they're that are women, and they're married and they have their own families. And they were telling me, one of the upsides is so good is because Dad was there more than he had been in years because everything had shut down. So we really got to, the grandkids really got to know Dave and whatnot before he passed. And so, I mean, there's definitely an upside. I've got like a biking trail in the back of my house. And when I keep an eye, people walking past and I see families more, we've lived here 8 years now, 8 years. And I've seen more families walking together on the bike path than I have, the entire time that I've been here. So there's definitely, and technology is one of those things we were talking about going to school earlier and just the Zoom classes that we've had where I'm a dyed-in-the-wool believer now with classes like that. It's just a phenomenal advantage. So there's an upside, Yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about it, if before COVID happened and the shutdowns and whatnot, if you had to commute 1 hour a day one way, so 2 hours there and back, you're getting 40 hours of life back at home per month just by not having to commute. Like that's a lot. That 40 hours, that's a whole week with your family, a whole work week that you get to spend with your family now that you would have been sitting in a car listening to podcasts or whatever you do.
I think we're going to see business, school business is fundamentally changed forever. And I think in a lot of ways changed for the better because, I've got buddies that, they've got businesses and they're like, there's no reason to have people sit in an office. The beginning of the week, they get a spreadsheet. This is all the tasks they need to do. They do a sync up meeting via Zoom, or whatever technology they're using. Everybody's like, yes, 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 yes. Boom. And it's like, get your work done. Here's your list. Get your work done. If you don't get your work done, well, then we're going to have to talk. If you do get your work done, that's great. and away you go. I mean, even folks over in London, my sister works for a company, and they own another company over. The company has a sister company in London. People in London are traveling like 2 hours one way, just to get to work and then just to get home, because you can't drive into London. You've got to take the train or whatever, and then they stay after work because the train passes, to get on the train decrease in price after a certain time. So they end up spending time there. They'll go down to the pub or whatever and hang out, and then they go home. So essentially, mom or dad leaves at like 5 a.m., gets home at about 8 a.m., 8 or 8:30, and then boom, they wake up the next day and do it all over again. Well, now that company is like, yeah, we're not bringing our employees back to London. There's no reason. We're going to leave them home. Their quality of life is so much better. And I've talked to several of my buddies in business that have businesses like that, and they're like, not only is it working, but it's working far better than our wildest dreams. And so it's just, it's an interesting time. I think it's a bunch of, obviously I think there's people that are trying to take advantage of this in a bad way. But I think that's where we build our community and go, yeah, but look at all these other things that have come out of it that I think ultimately will trump, no pun intended, will trump, the socialists in our country and what they're trying to do.
Yeah. And funny you mentioned Trump. Do we have, like I said, I've been out of it for a couple of weeks. Do we have a clear-cut decision on who our next commander-in-chief is?
No. The president came out 2 days ago and gave a speech, and I'll paraphrase, where he basically said, he said his exact words, fraud, at least a dozen times, and rampant fraud and malignant fraud, and he was like, look, I'll acquiesce to a fair and equitable election. He's like, but I will acquiesce to that, but I'm not. He's like, but I'll go down fighting on the other side. And he's like, this is, he's, and I think he's right. I mean, we were talking about, like, I just watched that video in Georgia where they were pulling suitcases of ballots.
Yeah, talk about that. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, what a time we live in, right? So in Georgia, and in Georgia, they're counting ballots, and this gal comes in, and this is all security footage that's been, this is court evidence now, and the video was released. The gal goes around and says, okay, stop counting, everybody can go home, we're taking a break. So everybody, quotations, goes home, except for 6 people stay behind. And as soon as the coast is clear, they start pulling suitcases of ballots, suitcases that they wheel over to these 3 or 4 gals that are running the ballots through the counting machines.
Right.
And they start pulling stacks of ballots out of these suitcases, and start jamming them through the ballot counting machines as fast as they can. And it's like, look, I wasn't there, so I don't have 100% knowledge of what was taking place there.
Sure.
But as a former police officer, I look at that and I'm like, oh, you guys are so busted. What you're doing is illegal to the highest degree.
Nefarious. No matter how you look at it. What they were doing. And then you also had mentioned something about a United States Postal Service truck driver.
Yeah, there's a guy came up, sworn affidavit. I saw his interview where he got up and he's like, look, I'm a postal truck driver, not one of the small trucks, but the big trucks.
Big semi, yeah.
Semis, and he's got Gaylords, which are great big huge cardboard boxes that are like 4 by 4 by 4, maybe a little bit bigger, but filled with ballots. Completed ballots. He drives to a place to drop them off, because he knows where they're supposed to get dropped off, because he's got the bill of lading, right? If that's the correct term, that of where these things are supposed to get dropped off. He gets there and they're like, no, don't drop those off here. We're going to load some more stuff on. Keep driving up to New York. And he's like, well, that's weird, but okay. So he drives up to New York, leaves his truck for a while, comes back. All those ballots, you're talking thousands and thousands of ballots, poof, gone.
The whole trailer went missing.
Just disappeared.
Yep. Just disappeared. Yeah,
my
it's
gosh.
yeah.
So,
It's-
but according to the left side, the liberal side of things, it's not enough to make a difference in the votes. So,
Not
how
true.
much fraud is enough fraud is what I want to know.
Exactly.
That you can prove fraud, one, should be enough. It doesn't matter how much you've proven fraud.
Here's the example, right? If all of a sudden I'm going to sell you a house, and you go, okay, yeah, that's cool. I'll buy the house, and then I misrepresent what is in the house, then you have basis to come back at me because it's fraud. So if all of a sudden I knew that the house was infested with rats and lice and scabies, and I didn't divulge that in the disclosure forms for real estate, guess what? You have a case where you can now come back after me and either sue for damages or nullify the transaction,
Or both.
It's fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fraud. So it's like exactly what you said. At what point does the fraud? It's like it's not at this point. It's like this isn't about votes now. This is about committing felonies and arguably, I mean,
Many different forms.
and one of my friends had asked me, it's like, well, this is kind of a bad time to clean up the election process. Why is it got to be during an election? And I was like, when else are you going to do it?
Right.
Because everybody forgets about it. It's got to be in your face right now. It's like the bad intersection in a town that people keep getting killed. Well, after about the third time somebody gets killed, it's like, hey, maybe we ought to fix this like right now so it doesn't happen again. And that's what this election is to me, where it's like, hey, maybe we ought to fix this so that we can stop doing, this insanity of what's been going on.
Yeah, but where do we go right now? Then in the here and now, how do we just accept the fraudulent results and move on with the new president? Or
I think I don't think you can go on with if you win by fraud, you won by fraud. It's fraud. It's invalid. And so and I think ultimately this is going to have to go to the Supreme Court, and they are going to have to decide. That's the only way that I can see calmer heads saying, okay, I'll accept what the Supreme Court says. But anything else, I think, is going to lead to a litany of problems.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that we've got problems, and how it gets handled from here still remains to be seen. And
I mean, if in fact it is fraud, a lot of people believe it was, then we're talking that we will fundamentally change the way we run elections forever in this country, which in my opinion is a good thing, and it's high time, and it should have happened long ago.
yeah.
But again, it takes a bad intersection and somebody to get hurt or killed for people to wake up and go, man, we need to do something about this because this has gotten out of hand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all we can do is wait and see. And the Supreme Court, I guess, ultimately is what's going to make that decision. And
yeah, I mean, it depends on there's.
So as the president right now, Trump, do you relinquish? Do you when the time was it the 20th? Is that the deadline?
I think so.
Do you, at that point, if there's still no clear-cut decision, do you give up the White House, or do you sit there and not lament?
If there is no clear-cut decision, then there is no new president, right?
Well, but according to the media, the media's already made their decision, and what the media says goes, and that's what that's what their followers and their listeners believe. Yeah. Whether the actual legal decision has been made or not, they don't know that because they're listening to the media, and the media has made the decision. They've made the call.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, it's gotten high enough up in the courts now that that's why we have judges and a balance of powers, right? We've got the legislative body and the executive body and the judicial body, and that's why that balance of powers exist. So now all of a sudden, if you look back at the founding fathers, they designed stuff so that it had to be like major decisions are supposed to be made slow and meticulously, and that they're not jumping the gun or kicking a reflex in your knee to move you forward. There's nothing in government that I can think of that requires a 1 night, 2 night, 4 night decision. And then that includes us, the United States, being attacked, because it's not always as clear cut as the video. How many times have we seen this in social media of a video showing something only for us to find out weeks later that it was completely misleading because of the narrative that was surrounding that. And I think that's why we have the courts now, the judicial system set up now, where they can sit there, they can listen to the facts, they can listen to the witnesses and drive it forward. Now, could some of those judges be corrupt? Certainly. But that's part of the multi-pronged approach, is the chances of there being 5 different states with bad judges, you limit the chances of that happening. And so, and as we've seen, there's numerous lawsuits that are going on all over the country. And so, and it only takes one of those to go to the Supreme Court.
What are the odds that an outside force is brought in to mediate? And when I say outside force, I'm talking about another country.
In the United States, I cannot see that ever happening.
I can't either. Yeah.
I mean, the UN or somebody else showing up to do something.
Can you see them wanting to stick their dick skinners in it, though?
Oh, my goodness, yes. They would love to.
Right?
I'm sure they're already putting in, hey, we'll monitor this and make sure that Americans would never.
Trudeau and his micro boner right now. Yeah.
Yeah. They'd never stand for that. I mean, it's just, that's the beginning of the end when something like that happens. It's like, why don't you just invite the UN down on the Mexican border too,
Right.
The Fiocchi family has been producing high-quality ammunition since 1876. In 2020, Fiocchi's launching a full line of premium products, everything from self and home defense to the long-range categories. The Fiocchi Blue Guardian line will feature specially tuned products specifically for home and self-defense, featuring lead-free technology and the only NATO-certified zero-pollution primer in the world. Fiocchi's a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade. Fiocchi trains, Fiocchi protects.
That's got me caught up on what's been going on since I've been sick, a lot. But I want to talk about the Full 30 network now. Let's talk about some good stuff. Let's talk about what's going on new with Full 30. Talking Lead is one of those, new addition to the Full 30 network. We're proud to be a part of it. Jared, appreciate all your help in getting our channel launched. We still got a lot of work to do though, but we're getting there. We've probably got how many of our first 30 episodes or so up right now?
There's 30 or so up there, and there's new ones coming up every day. So we should be up to the most recent one pretty soon.
Yeah. So you can go to Full 30 now. You can listen to the podcast. Hopefully you're listening to this one on the Full 30 network as you're listening to us talk now. But we've got this huge, great promotion to launch that and to talk about all the new things since Jeff has taken over Full 30, Jeff and his crew, the new ownership of Full 30. Talk about what's new and what's coming to the Full 30 network.
So, I mean, I'll kind of give the overarching scheme and maneuver of what our vision is, and then Jared can give you the nuts and the bolts. And hallelujah for Jared, because he is really the unsung hero that's made this thing turn into what it is and what it will eventually become. So, I mean, he's a huge promoter. He's the CEO of Full 30, and he's also he's hooking and jabbing and making sure that stuff is continuing on. But Full 30, I've been with them. I've been an owner now for a few years, and it's always when you've got multiple opinions of how something should be done, things move slower. It's not that it moves badly. It's just that it just tends to move slower. And so I ultimately, was able to get almost all of the company now, and then the other partner that I have is 100% on board as well. So there's only two of the owners right now in the way that it moves forward. And so, and the overall vision of Full 30 is to create, or we have it, and this thing is built from the ground up. We're not using Amazon Player. We're not using JW Player. We're not using Vimeo. It's our platform. It's our technology. We own it. We control it. And so we're not going to chop the legs out from underneath the 2A community. That's the problem that all of the other gun channels have run into, is they're using somebody else that is not gun friendly. Jeff Bezos is not gun friendly. And also they can't scale. They can't get big because you've got to pay for bandwidth based off of, because that's how Amazon and JW Player and the others are making their money. And so because we built it from the ground up, are promoting that freedom of speech where people can get on, and it's like, look, let your voice be heard and get on there. And guns, is our alma mater. That was our street cred. So that's where we started. And now we're in the process. We just came up with version 3.0 that Jared will talk a little bit about. We got a ton of feedback from the creators, the things they wanted tweaked. We're doing that right now. We've got a couple of bugs, but we've worked through the vast majority of those. And then ultimately what we're trying to build is something that the content creators can have like a little micro business, so that they can all of a sudden, they have a way that they can monetize. So it's not just a social platform like YouTube, but kind of like what YouTube was doing in the early days, where folks could actually make some money. Mm-hmm. And then they started demonetizing everybody, and then ultimately YouTube was kicking people off. Readyman is a perfect example of that. They erased our channel, 1,000 videos, poof.
Oh, gone. Really?
Yep. Kicked us off and never told us why. And so that's why Full 30 exists, is so that content creators can get on there, let their voice be heard, and build those little micro businesses. It's all about helping out the community and building the community. And I think if we continue to synergize with everybody in the community, then we will be a force to be reckoned with. And not Full 30 will be a force to be reckoned with, but I think our community will be a force to be reckoned with, because that's exactly what we were just talking about. Is, the news is putting out complete and total lies that we're seeing right now in the media, and they're suppressing everything that was, they're suppressing the truth. And that's where there's got to be, and this is, again, I see this as kind of where the upswings of COVID is. We've really put the pedal to the metal so that we could expand and build Full 30 into what the vision could be, because there is such a need right now. And so ultimately that's where we're at. And we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up with Full 30, in the coming months and year.
Very good. Jared, you want to expound on that?
Yeah, I can get a little bit more into the details of the 3.0 platform. I'm going to talk about two things because I don't want to overload those of you that are listening. If you're interested in a full list of improvements or new things that we've done, then just let me know. My email is jared@full30.com. You can get me directly there. One of the biggest things that we heard from producers was that the mobile version of the site just didn't work very well. So with the new, we launched 3.0 on October 31st, I believe. It was right before November, right at the end of October. So we launched 3.0, which is a totally new face on the platform, totally new back end and front end technology. It's up to speed with 2020. So if you've seen what we call the legacy version of Full 30, what we have now looks a little bit different, and it functions differently also. But one of the biggest things that we heard from producers was that the mobile platform just didn't work very well. So there were a couple different options we could have taken. We could have built a mobile app and released that, which that's in beta right now. We could have made the mobile browser work, because that's where most of the viewers will be, on the mobile browser. So we looked at that for a second. We're like, well, let's focus on the mobile browser. So now if you go to full30.com on your mobile device, it works really well, looks great, everything functions. And you can go watch videos from your favorite producer on your mobile device, and you don't have to worry about anything not functioning correctly. The other thing is something that just left my brain. So I'll get back. No,
Still
but
jet lagged, right?
yeah, yeah. One of the things moving forward is a big deal that's actually in testing phase right now. And Marty, we need to get you on it if you want to get you on it as a tester, as a producer. It's tipping and subscriptions. So as a producer, you now have the ability to give your audience the ability to tip you if they like something.
What?
You also have the ability to you could put content behind a paywall, kind of like what's the Patreon, kind of like that, where you have subscribers pay for bonus content or after hour show or whatever that is.
You hear that,
So
lead heads? Start reaching into your pockets.
well, you know, those of you that are listening to Talking Lead, the only way that the show can continue is if you support either Talking Lead or their sponsors. So
yeah, we've never had a Patreon account. We've never had anything where you pay us to listen to the show. Never, you know, we've never done anything like that. I mean, not that I haven't, you know, thought about it. It's just I just haven't had the opportunity maybe to set something like that up. And I've had several of you offer too, and I appreciate that. But so you're saying that you guys are going to have this built in now to where we'll have the ability for listeners to say, hey, I really enjoyed that show. Here's a couple of bucks or something.
Here's a buck, you know, $1 for, you know, it's not that much from one person, but you have 100,000 listeners that give you $1. It's quite a big chunk of money that you could do a lot with the show to make improvements or whatever.
Continue giveaways like we're going to talk about here.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's one of those things that was feedback that came from both the producers and the viewers, because the viewers are like, hey, we want to support our people. And most of them do it on a platform called Patreon right now. Mm-hmm. It's owned by somebody that may or may not be a 2A supporter, etc. Well, we know with our technology that we're not going to shut down Talking Lead, right? So why not give you the ability to allow the listeners that want to support you to do that on Full 30? And cool. So that's what we're, you know, we can get you on right now as a tester. We need to make sure that it works the way that you expect it to, and then we'll push it live, and that should be coming soon.
I'd be happy to try it out.
Sweet.
And I know our listeners would be happy to try it out also by tipping $1.
You know, it's all about supporting each other. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, look, when you're walking down the street, do you want to support the guy? You know, you want to support the guy that's a socialist with your $1, or do you want to support the guy that's the hardworking good American with your $1? And you know, and I think probably 99.9999% of the listeners would say, man, I'm going to go to the hardworking, you know, great American and support him with my $1. I'm going to vote with my $.
Sure. Yeah. I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where for us, you know, I see, you know, it's a style of economics that where it's like, if we can get the money churning through, you know, through the community, then everybody wins. Everybody, you know, the content creators win, the listeners and the viewers win. You know, it just it makes it.
It makes sense, like you said. You know, rather than a platform like Google or YouTube, who we know that for a fact that they are not supporting our industry. They don't support the Second Amendment. You know that the dollars that you're putting into a network like Full 30, that people donate to my channel, they know that Talking Lead is a 2A, you know, show. You know, we're 2A supporters, and that the money that comes in, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to put that into making a better show, bringing on more 2A content, information, and supporting other 2A endeavors. So you know that it's a like-minded community, that the money that's going into it continues to grow that community and not go out of our pockets into stifling our causes.
You know, I was amazed and I've talked to a couple of other people too, because, you know, Readyman, we're on Instagram, and, you know, leading up to the election, it was funny because Readyman on the Instagram side, all I do is search like bushcraft, knives, stick fighting, martial arts, guns, stuff like that. Leading up to the election, probably 95% of my feed turned into nothing but tits and ass.
Are you serious?
none of the people that I was following, and there, you probably some listeners are going to think and go, yeah, you know what, you're right, that happened to me too.
Yeah.
None of the places that I was following, none of them would show up. I had to go in and manually type to pull them in. And now that it's December 4th, I woke up this morning, 95% of my feed is people that I follow, and and some politics and other stuff that's on there. And like one picture of some chick way down at the bottom. So it just goes to show you like the shenanigans that's going on with social media. And with Full 30, we're just so sick of that. It's like, no, if you subscribe to these guys, guess what? We'll make it easy for you.
You're going to get their content. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's real good. Yeah. I did notice that on Instagram, where I would go and I would do a search for something, and then, like you said, it's nothing but tits and ass. I was like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
It's like, this girl's got her ankles behind her ears. I was like, I didn't subscribe to that.
And look at your feed now. It'll be, you go back and look at your feed now, I guarantee it'll be a lot more stuff that you're actually, that you're searching for, like cars or guns or whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like-minded channels, definitely.
Yeah.
So the Full 30 Network, it's talk about where people can go and sign up and become a part of this, whether they want to be the spectator part of it or they want to actually be a creator.
Yeah, well, if you're a spectator, it's even easier for you. Go to full30.com, hit that join now button, create an account there, go subscribe to Talking Lead, and we'll tell you why here pretty soon. But if you're a content creator, if you produce videos and you would like to have a channel on there, if you'd like to share your uncensored voice, because that's what we are at Full 30, we're just technology and we're giving you the ability to share it without censoring you. So if you want to be part of that, then you can go there, go to full30.com, make an account, and then just email us, help@full30.com with your account email, and we'll get you a channel set up.
Very cool. I've had several people ask me about it. Like I was telling you, went down to the Big Daddy Unlimited event a few weeks ago down there in Georgia, and all these, I was talking about, what we were doing with you guys, this promotion that we were running, and asking some of them if they wanted to be a part of it. They're like, yeah, we'd love to be a part of your giveaway that you're doing, but, we would like to, we've got a YouTube channel, but we'd like to put it on Full 30 too. These are a lot of the companies, the manufacturers that have YouTube channels, and they're like, hey, how do we become a part of this too? So I know that a lot of our listeners are, in the business. They have their own firearms, a gun, outdoor type business, but you guys aren't just about that too. I mean, you music, sports, all kinds of things. You welcome everybody to the Full 30 Network, right?
Yep. Full 30 is for 2A and outdoor sports communities. We do kind of try to keep it on topic, because then we know that people that are going there are going to see things that they like, and so we'll do that. If you're in any of those industries, let us know. You can, if you're a friend of Marty's, you're a friend of mine. Get you a channel up there.
There you go. If you're part of the Leadhead Brigade, give Jared a call. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this big. Oh, go ahead.
And let me add too, Marty. It's like, it's totally free when they say go and subscribe or whatever. It's totally free to get on. If you're
good point.
If you want to just watch the videos, you can get on there anonymously and watch the videos. If you want to subscribe, that helps us out. That's free. If you're a content creator, we screen the content creators that come on so that we don't have, crazy people that show up. But that's free as well. It's like, yep, okay, you're a legit guy in the space. Here you go. And then as we spread the footprint on some of the other stuff, as we expand into more like bushcraft or whatever that is, maybe political or something like that, we're just going to create new verticals for those so that they can continue to expand. So if you want to see politics or whatever, boom, you can just go to that channel. Think like cable TV, where cable, you've got one pipe going into your TV, and then you can hit the channel changer to the guide, and you can go to the History Channel or the Learning Channel or
action, adventure, comedy, whatever. You can select your category, and you can get specialized in your viewing habits.
That's the future right there of what we're going to do, so that because there's a ton of great content that's out there that people, they're so dissatisfied. There's been a mass exodus off of Facebook, as well there should be, as well as YouTube. And now even Shopify has been shutting down, arbitrarily kind of shutting down some people's stores of people in the 2A community that we've been talking to. And so it's like, hey, you guys, you got a home. You don't have to worry about, Jared or Jeff chopping you off at the ankles because all of a sudden, you're talking about the coolest AK-47 ever, or something.
Right. Or it's an AK that maybe you don't like, but it doesn't matter, kind of thing.
Right.
At least they're talking about it. Speaking of AKs, the Talking Lead AK Corner's coming back January, so something to look forward to. Throw that little plug in there. But we're leading up to this promotion that we kicked off. As you guys are listening to this, it would have been December the 2nd. The Talking Lead Full 30. I think we called it the gun shortage giveaway. Is that
gun shortage giveaway? Yep.
I called it. I'm calling it the Christmas Ain't Canceled giveaway.
Christmas ain't canceled.
Yeah. And we had a lot of our industry friends come together to help us with this promotion. We've had over 20 companies that are taking part in this. Jared and I were able to put together 5 awesome firearms packages. And let's talk about those, Jared, right now.
Cool. Well, what I would say is that there's a ton of things right here that you can go look at. Like the packages are stacked full of stuff.
Beyond belief.
I'm looking at the page right now. I'm like, holy cow, did we really do this? But the most important thing, in my opinion, right now is that we're giving away guns and also ammo. Like, it's hard to buy that stuff right now.
Yeah, they're like unicorns.
Yeah. Every single prize pack has guns and ammo in it. And there's a ton of, I don't want to go down the list because it'll take me 3.
No, I'm going to go down the list. I'm doing it.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're going to be specific on this. So we've got 5 prize packages. There's going to be 5 winners. The winners are going to be announced midnight on Christmas Eve. So just imagine that you're one of those 5 people, how awesome your Christmas is going to be. So, and you can get multiple entries into this. So it's one of those Gleam contests. Again, our buddies over at Mission First Tactical have set this up. And, you go like an Instagram page, you go like a Facebook page, you go to a website. There's specific things you got to do to get additional entries. The more you do, the more entries that you're going to get. So we've got it set up that way. We've got the links on our social media, on our Facebook page. Put them on Instagram. You go to the bio on Instagram. There's a link there that you can go on Talking Leads. I'm sure Student of the Gun, Full 30 are putting links in on all theirs. All our participants should be doing the same. So let's talk about these packages. And let's start off with number 5, Jared.
All right, number 5. We're looking at the Sky CPX2 red dot pistol.
And number 4 and 5 are the same. So 4 and 5. This is prize pack 4 and 5.
Okay, prize pack 4 and 5. We've got the Geissele Everyday Carry Pistol Backpack. The Buck Knives. There's a knife from Buck Knives in there. 112 Slim Pro.
Yep.
Crossbow holsters giving away a CCW pack so that to help you carry the gun that you're getting. Glow Rhino's doing the. Who's this dude? Oh, by the way, I'm really close with the guys at Student of the Gun. I know those dudes really well.
Oh, yeah?
And they put together a URL that makes it really easy to enter this giveaway. Just go to sotggiveaway.com. It'll take you exactly where you need to go to get entered for these prize packs.
Perfect. So prize pack 4 and 5. So you're down to we're down to the Rhino Glow. Rhino Glow has included a glow in the dark keychain fob and a tritium pry bar that glows in the dark.
You know how us dudes, we like to be able to find things in the dark?
Oh yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but maybe I'm just OCD. I put my stuff when I go to bed at night, I put it all in the same spot. So if I need to wake up in the middle of the night and go grab my keys or whatever, I know exactly where they are.
That's right.
Well, I put this glow fob on my keychain. And it's tritium, so in the dark it glows. I'm like, oh, there's all my stuff right there. I know exactly where to go and get it. And it's one of those little things that seemingly doesn't matter, but it's kind of like a peace of mind.
Yeah,
it gives you peace of mind.
You're going to get 2 things with tritium in it from Glow Rhino. And one of those was the Pry Bar, which you can just open all kinds of cool things with their Pry Bar. Being able to see in the dark, ASP USA has provided one of their T1 DFs, which is dual fuel rechargeable flashlights. It's like $100 flashlight. That's going to be in these two prize packs. Actually, everything we're reading from the Geissele backpacks to the knife to the crossbreed to where we're at right now, this is in every package. Everybody who wins one of our packages is going to get one of these.
Oh, wow.
So a bag of operator coffee is going to be included. Prym1 Camo has included one of their winter jackets, one of their winter coats with their Prym1 Camo is going to be included in that. Mission First Tactical has really ponied up, and not only are they helping us with the gleam, putting it together, they also included pepper spray. And you're talking about keeping our guy stuff together at night. They've got a tactical dump tray that's going to have the Talking Lead logo on there, where you can dump your pockets and put all this stuff in and see your tritium glow at night in your tactical tray. There's going to be a tactical wallet for Mission First Tactical.
The tactical dump tray goes on your dresser, not your bathroom, right?
It could go either one.
Oh, either one. Okay.
You could put them in both places.
Oh, well, okay.
If you don't win it, you can go buy it. You can go to Mission First Tactical and you can buy these tactical dump trays, these tactical wallets. And they're even including one of their smoke grenade canisters tumblers. It looks like a smoke grenade. So you can put your coffee in that, make your coffee, and drink it out of a can that looks like a smoke grenade. That's kind of cool, 16 ounce. Obsidian Arms is going to include a 12-piece punch kit for you armorers that are out there. And they're also including for you AR-15 buffs a bolt carrier pin kit. Modern Spartan Systems, one of the sponsors of Talking Lead Podcast, have been for years. You're going to get one of their starter kits. It's got their carbon destroyer. It's got their oils, their grease in it, their optics cleaner, their TVT engine oil additive. You hear me talk about using that in the lead sled all the time. It's going to protect anything you got with an engine. You put the TVT engine oil additive in there, extends the life of your engine. Readyman Network has stepped up. And they're going to include, talk about what Readyman's putting in there. Jared?
Readyman's doing the Wilderness Survival Card, a Hostage Escape Card, and then the Compact Leader Kit, helping you be prepared for everyday life.
There you go. And then you mentioned Student of the Gun has stepped up. Paul Markle, Student of the Gun. Jared Markle, Student of the Gun. You guys, Jeff and I were talking about the importance of, learning first aid and safety and medical. Talk about what you guys are including in this.
We've got actually 2 pocket Lifesaver kits in there. So these things fit in your pocket, in your back pocket, in your cargo pocket, not really a front pocket, but back pocket, cargo pocket. They're small enough to fit in those things. We're doing the Combat Lifesaver kit and the Pocket Lifesaver, the original kit there. A t-shirt for you guys as well.
And a Student of the Gun t-shirt. How awesome is that? And when we mentioned every one of these packages is going to include some ammo. Who's providing that ammo for us? Who's stepping up for that?
Double Tap Ammo is stepping up and providing the ammo there.
Double Tap Ammo. So these 2, 4, and 5 packages that we're talking about right now, they're including the Sky. What is that Sky pistol?
Yeah, it's 9mm. It's TP. It's the CPX2.
Yeah, the CPX2, and it comes with a red dot. So package 4 and 5 come with a 9mm with a red dot on it. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, those are like a $350 gun, and you can't get a gun with a red dot. I mean, most red dots by themselves are $250,
Yeah, and I'm summarily impressed with these pistols. Most pocket pistol size guns, they're what you would call snappy, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
These are the 9mm are not. The 9mm are actually less snappy than the 380 version of these. So I've shot these quite a bit, and I'm very impressed with them. So
nice.
glad to join in.
I've heard really good things about them. I've not had an opportunity to shoot them yet, but I definitely they're on my list. So
just put yourself as the winner of the prize pack number 5, Marty. That wouldn't be
4 or 5.
That wouldn't be wrong at all.
4 or 5. Also included, Talking Lead is throwing in our classic logo T-shirts, the Leadhead Brigade patches from 1776 United, and then 1776 United themselves is putting in a $25 gift card in each of these 5 packages that you can go and you can get anything you want on their website. You can get Talking Lead stuff, or you can get 1776 United stuff, $25 to use however you want to. And then, I'm not a smoker. I don't smoke. But I know that you guys, you and Paul are big cigar aficionados. Jeff, maybe you are too. I don't know. I can only imagine Jeff is too.
No.
Not at all.
Cigars and me do not get along.
I'm kind of the same way. But for those of you who are into cigars, we even have a 4-pack of sampler cigars from
Founder Cigar Co.
From Founder Cigar Co. They're a new cigar company that started up by a 2A guy. You guys are going to really like him. I'm going to have him on the show coming up here in the next couple of episodes. But he's got a 4-pack. Are you familiar with these flavors that he has, Jared?
Yep, I am absolutely. One of my favorites is actually Maduro. And if you win one of these packages and you don't like cigars, I will give you my address. If you're listening to this and you win, and I will give you my address, you can ship them.
Or gift it to a loved one. That's the great thing about all this is like, hey, I've got all this cool stuff that I just won. I couldn't possibly, be greedy. Share the love. Take some and re-gift it to a loved one, a family member. Stick it in their stocking, something like that.
Makes a great present.
But everything that we just mentioned, from the Geissele everyday carry pistol backpack to the knife to that is included in every one of these packages. Now, what sets them apart is what we're going to talk about now. So prize pack 4 and 5, you get the Sky CPX with the red dot. 2 of those. Okay? 4 and 5. Prize pack 4 and 5 come with those. 9 millimeters. Prize pack 3 is going to come with a Smith & Wesson M&P 9 from Primary Arms. Primary Arms has stepped up and supplied that to us. And that is going to come with some night vision sights, which is, again, tritium sights from Night Vision, right, Jared?
Yes, that is correct.
Very high quality. I think Night Vision probably provides most of the tritium that people get in the United States.
Yep. There's 2 companies in the United States that import tritium. It's Night Vision and just lost the name of the other one.
It doesn't matter. They're not part of our contest, so screw them.
It should have ought to been there.
So Night Vision.
Most of the tritium insertion for most of the night sights on the market.
Yeah, and that's prize pack 3. Prize pack 2, our good buddies over at Glock, Bob stepped up, and he got us a G48. And it's going to come with a pancake holster from, is it Double D Diamond?
Diamond D Leather.
There you go. I was close. Diamond D Leather holsters you're gonna get a special holster for that, in addition to the crossbreed pack that's going to come with it also. But you get the G48, and it's also going to come with sights from Night Vision. You're going to get those sights that you can put on there. So that's special to the prize pack 2, and then the grand prize, we're calling this the prize pack 1, is a Bushmaster, a Browning Buck Mark 22 pistol. Now, here's the kicker with that. It's also going to come with a Stealth Project 22 suppressor. So the guys from Stealth Project Suppressor have put up a can for that Buck Mark 22. So you're going to get the pistol, you're going to get the suppressor, and you're going to get all that other stuff that we mentioned, that all the prize packages you're going to get with that one. So all in all, I mean, we're looking at somewhere around $10,000 in total prizes from 22, 23 different companies that have stepped up. And all we ask that you do is go visit, subscribe to their Instagram pages, their Facebook pages. If they've got a Full 30 channel set up already, go and subscribe to the Full 30 channel. Obviously this is to promote the Talking Lead on Full 30, so make sure you go and subscribe to Talking Lead on Full 30. Really get us a good start there. Let them know that the Leadhead Brigade is behind Full 30 and everything that they stand for and are about. I can't think of a better way to show Talking Lead's appreciation to our listeners than through this giveaway, and through all our friends of the industry that have stepped up and taken part in this.
We really appreciate it. Really appreciate Talking Lead. We really appreciate you supporting Talking Lead on Full 30 especially.
And we had to turn people away for this. We had people that wanted to give other things. It's just like, this is overwhelming. This has really, really killed me to put this together over the last couple of weeks. It's taken a lot, which is another reason why it's been a couple of weeks since I put out a show, because I've really been concentrating on getting this out for you lead heads, because we wanted to get this out in time for Christmas to make it a very special Christmas for some of you lead heads there. So 5 packages, 5 winners, Christmas Eve. Go to Talking Lead's Instagram page. We've got links there. Go to Student of the Gun. They've got a link there where you can go and sign up for this contest. I'm sure Full 30 will have a link on there. And then most of these companies are pushing and promoting this as well. So make sure you go and you support the companies that are behind this. And I'm going to go through the companies right now. One more time. Glock. As if Glock doesn't have enough followers already. They've got probably the whole country, the whole world, several million people. But go show them love. Let them know. They still like hearing about it. Let them know how much you appreciate it. Sky, SCCY. Go show them some love. Let them know that you appreciate them putting up these guns that you can't get. Like Jared was saying, guns and ammo right now are unicorns. They're impossible to find, and we've got 5 of them that we're giving away here. Browning. We really appreciate the gang over at Browning stepping up, providing that Buck Mark 22. Primary Arms. They've done a lot with Talking Lead over the years, continuing to step up and help push and promote and support the Leadhead Brigade, putting up that M&P 9, Smith & Wesson M&P 9. And then Night Vision, the gang over there, putting up those night sights for the Glock and the Smith & Wesson. Glow Rhino, the Tritium Glow Fob, and the Pry Bar. Crossbreed Holsters putting up $560 concealed carry weapon packs with holsters, belts, and was it magazine holder also?
Yep, holster, belt, magazine pouch.
Yeah. Armament Systems and Procedures, ASP USA, Michael Hess over there. They've been really good in supplying you lead heads with discount codes and their flashlights. We've given several of those away over the last couple of years, given 5 more away here in this contest. The T1 DF rechargeable. Mission First Tactical, always stepping up, helping the Leadhead Brigade, providing these awesome giveaways with the EDC dump trays, the Minimalist tactical wallets, the M18 Red Smoke Evac 16-ounce drinkware, and then what is this? Oh, their pepper spray, the Mark III Tactical Flip Top Level 3 OC sprays. I mean, that's essential to anybody's EDC kit. Geissele Automatics with the backpacks. I haven't tried these backpacks out yet, but they've been telling me how awesome they are, and I think they're going to hold the majority of the stuff that you're going to win with these backpacks. Check them out at Geissele on their website. It's the Everyday Carry Pistol Backpack. our good buddies at Buck Knives. I mean, you can't have an EDC without a knife, and they're going to provide the 112 Slim Pro knife in each of those 5 packages. Buck Knives putting up the cool knives there. Diamond D leather holster for the G48. Talking Lead, we're putting up our T-shirts and our patches from 1776 United, and that gift card from 1776 United. Founders Cigar Company, the cigar sample 4-pack. Stealth Project suppressors, that 22 can for the Buck Mart. They make other cans too. They've got 9 mils, they've got 30 cals. I had an opportunity to shoot those at the Big Daddy Unlimited shoot, and they're really nice cans. They got some really nice suppressors. The technology that is behind those is very innovative, so make sure you go check them out at their website, Stealth Project LLC. Modern Spartan Systems, the gang over there putting up those starter kits and the TVT engine oil additive. You will not be disappointed in their products. Obsidian Arms, Eric over there, they've got some of the nicest punch kits that you will ever use. If you're an armor, you're going to really appreciate those punch kits. And Operator Coffee, they've got a bag in each of those kits that they're going to provide you guys. You're going to like them. It's a veteran-owned company, and their blends go and support different organizations as well. So go check them out at Operator Coffee. Very good organization. Readyman Network with their survival card, the hostage escape card, and Student of the Gun. Is this the compact bleeder kit?
That's Readyman. Readyman's compact bleeder kit, the Gun's pocket lifesaver, and the combat lifesaver.
There you go. So Readyman also with the compact bleeder kit, and then Student of the Gun has their lifesaver kit and the pocket lifesaver. Putting that up. Prym1 Camo. We're advertising cooler bags, but they actually sold out of those. So she's since told me that they're going to be putting up some sort of like a nice jacket or something like that with the Prym1 Camo. So substitute prize there. And the majority of these, I mean, what I'm saying is probably what you're going to get, but there may be some substitutions. Shit happens, and you get something, definitely. But all in all, Jared, I mean, it's a great giveaway. It's going to be a great Christmas, and I couldn't think of a better way to kick off launching the Talking Lead channel on Full 30 than through doing a giveaway.
Yeah, no, that's great. I really appreciate you being willing to move your channel over to Full 30. It means a lot to us, and those of you that are supporting Talking Lead, we really appreciate that you're doing that. It gives him the ability to support Full 30. And Marty, you put out some good information. I know that a lot of the listeners of Student of the Gun are listeners to Talking Lead, so the community likes what Talking Lead's doing, and we all appreciate it.
Well, and vice versa too. A lot of our listeners are Student of the Gun listeners. We've both been in the game for a while. Kind of cut our teeth on the same network there. We both started with the Firearms Radio Network. Yep. We both had our parting ways with the Firearms Radio Network. Talking Lead has since joined back. Are you guys?
Student of the Gun may or may not, I cannot confirm or deny. Student of the Gun may or may not be doing the same thing.
Okay.
There's a future announcement about that.
There you go. But another great 2A community there at the Firearms Radio Network. So you can go listen to Talking Lead there too. But Full 30 is where we want you to go now. And with all the new things and improvements that Full 30 has, we used to do a lot of YouTube videos. It's something that I want to get back into and start doing content that's not related to the show with videos where we were doing a lot of, the gun events and shows and range days that we were going to. We were putting a lot of that content on there. I'm looking at starting to do more of that too. Maybe even start doing live shows. So Jared, I know Jared can help me with that because they do that. I know that Jeff does that with his show. He's got a Readyman Network show that he does as well. We had the opportunity to be on that when we visited you guys. It was a fun experience, and I really like the setup that you guys have up there in the Readyman Network.
Yeah, that was a blast.
So I pick your brains. Maybe you guys can help me get a studio set up like that too, and we'll start doing that. Maybe do like an exclusive thing on the Full 30 Network.
Yep.
Be awesome.
So very good, guys. I want to thank you both for kicking off my introduction back into the podcasting after my couple of weeks off being under the weather. So thank you both for spending the time with me and getting my gears rolling again. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Getting my head out of the dirt.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Marty. It's always a pleasure. And anything we can do to help out you or anybody else in the community, don't hesitate to reach out.
Oh, very good. And like we say, guys, go visit Full 30, the Full 30 Network. Jared, what are your websites and all that again?
Full30.com.
That's it. That's easy.
So, FULL30.com.
Yep.
.com, baby.
Go subscribe to Talking Lead. I know all you lead heads are listening right now. That's your call to action. Go subscribe to Talking Lead.
Call it out and enter that contest. Got to enter the contest if you want to win those awesome prizes. So, all right, guys, that does it for another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. As always, as we mentioned earlier with our sponsors, go show them some love. Without our sponsors, this show isn't possible. Maybe in the future you'll have an opportunity to donate $1 here and there through Full 30. Who knows? But until then, Kel-Tec Weapons. Go show them some love. KelTecWeapons.com. Fiocchi Ammo or FiocchiUSA.com. Modern Spartan Systems for all your gun cleaning needs. ModernSpartanSystems.com. Check them out. Go show them some love. They've got a new website over there, and they've got some new products. I'd mentioned earlier that they've got some kind of new supplement or something that's supposed to cure COVID. I don't know. I've got to talk to them about that. I still haven't. Maybe that's what I needed. Maybe I should have been talking to them during this whole time I've been sick. Got some of their new COVID medicine. I don't know. And then, of course, Full 30. Going to be doing a lot of new things with Full 30, with Jared and Full 30, with Jeff. We're going to get Jeff on the AK Corner, Season 3, coming up in January. We'll talk about that Kirkham shelf that I've been using here for hunting season.
Jeff likes AKs. I didn't know that.
I heard something about that.
It's a vicious rumor.
It's a vicious rumor. Real quick, though, are you working on any more books, Jeff?
We are actually. We're getting ready to release the sequel to the Black Autumn sequel, which is going to be called White Wasteland. At least that's what the name is right now. That's supposed to come out in the next couple of months. We've got some of our instructional. We started delving into graphic instructional manuals, so they're kind of like comic books, but they have lessons in there. We just released our third one. We've got a few more coming out here pretty quick. I'm just doing the finishing touches up on using a shepherd sling for survival and defense, and that will be that comic book style. So I'm just finishing up the images with that with the artist, and so yeah, we're working on stuff. We're cranking and just continuing to build the community.
Very nice. Is that through the Readyman Network, or is there a different site for that?
Through the Readyman Network, yeah. If you're interested, they can come to the Readyman closed group, and it's called the Readymen, M-E-N, Readymen closed group. Very, very active. We've got 15,000 people in there or something. Very active. It's all learning. We have really done a great job of the last few months, really focusing the group down to do everything we can to help spread information and knowledge to people that are trying to get prepared on stuff. So yeah, the Ready Men closed group, that's on Facebook. But yeah, definitely there. So we've got, and then like I said, White Wasteland, that's part of the Black Autumn series, should be coming out here in the next couple of months.
Very cool. Something to look forward there too, and I'm sure we'll have you on to talk about that once it gets released.
Awesome.
But until then, as always, lead heads, keep your loved ones close.
Keep your firearms closer.
And always be willing to learn. Go to college. Get a degree.
Student for life.
That's you. That's student again.
That's me.
My name is Buck Henry, and I am a student of the gun.
Sensation.